Yeah, so technically I haven't technically finished the base game campaign. I finished the story, but there's technically 3 days left of that. But at the same time, I can't like wait until I'm doing another session to do all the content I missed. So I figured we just might as well go on to the next expansion and do that. Um, so I did a little bit of setting up beforehand, not too much, because I haven't read too far into like what we need to do and what's different. But I do know like there were some cards I had to get rid of because the first part of the game starts in the old areas of the game, so and you need to get rid of them to make the game make sense. Um, so let's find where we are. Let's give it a few moments as well. Wait a sec. But yeah, how's your weekend? How are you going? So I also need to grab my tokens as well because I always keep forgetting them. But yeah, we might have to do some what's it called? Final Fantasy 11 if my voice doesn't give out today because I think I'm coming down for a little bit of a cold. See, I figured out some of the stuff I needed to do, and I did it off stream. It's probably for the best anyway, because I think it wasn't exciting watching me go back and forth, in and out of town for like an hour to get the missions done. Yeah, pretty chill so far. Had a personal training session, and now doing nice. You're getting swole. Ran some board games. Oh, nice. What board game are you playing tonight? Yeah, getting started. Welcome to Inside yet. Friends are going to bring around some options. So nice. Hopefully it isn't friends with or hopefully it isn't what's it called? That really bad game. Damn it, my brain is really dead today. Cards Against Humanity. I really don't like that. I kind of felt like an asshole because I was like saying, at my birthday party we did like a board game day, and I was like, do you really want to play that? And that was like one of the things somebody brought, and I was like, I feel bad. So getting started. The campaign takes place after the events of Lure of the Valley campaign from the Earthborne Rangers base game, which we've done. If you complete Lure of the Valley, you can continue playing as the same ranger in Legacy of the Ancestors. You just need your deck and your filled out campaign tracker, which okay, I'm muted as well, yeah. I don't know why I put it on the be right back screen. Okay, so yeah, you need your filled out campaign tracker from the previous game, which we have, and I coded a few extra changes to make it just a bit easier for me to kind of read and sort of set up. I think there's actually like a really nice digital campaign tracker. I think on Rangers DB, but I just wanted to like I used to be a web programmer by trade, so I was like, okay, I want to get back into it, and just decided to code this. Like I said, it gets the job done. So, remember also that campaign progress is not tied to any individual ranger. If you would like to start Legacy Ancestors with a new ranger but maintain your previous campaign option is available to you as well. Okay, well, I'm going to keep my deck, but we are going to do a little. I am going to make some changes to my deck before we start. If you haven't created it, you can create a new one. This book provides the tools to help you catch up on the story so far, which we don't really need. I have completed Lure of the Valley. If you have completed the Journey to Lone Tree Station, which we have, you can continue directly into a Legacy of the Ancestors campaign and maintain your progress. To do this, construct your Ranger deck, which we will do in a sec. Either using your same deck or from the Lure of the Valley or creating a new Ranger deck. Keep your filled out Lure of the Valley campaign tracker close at hand and cross off any incomplete missions from that campaign tracker. And then read entry 1 of the new campaign guide. Okay. There's a bunch of also new rules here as well. I won't go through them until we actually come across them. Like the only real important thing is like I had to remove a few cards from the Valley set because I assumed that the NPCs are now in the arcology, or the story kind of makes sense that they're not in there anymore. So I'm just going to turn this down in my ears. The story so far. So you've come to the end of a long day's journey. Your legs ache, yet you feel invigorated. A light breeze rustles your cloak and pulls perspiration on your skin. You take a deep, full breath. Crisp mountain air fills your lungs, and you feel it all the way down to the soles of your feet. You exhale and taste the sweetness of the air on your tongue. On this day, you're returning home after a weeks-long patrol of the Northern Pass. The hour is late, and the shadow of Aatrox Mountain stretches out before you, reaching eastward across the valley's many forests, lakes, and streams. As evening deepens, the song of frogs and chirping insects rises from the grasslands, and your path has led you out of the mountains and down to the foothills of Aatrox Mountain, where tall trees now stand on all sides, and the air is rich with the smell of pine and loamy earth. In the distance, you see a welcome sight. Visible for miles, even in the failing light, Lone Tree Station stands out against the evening sky. The sight of your home fills you with relief. After weeks on patrol, you are eager to get a warm meal and a good night's rest. You hear the distant sound of laughter and merrymaking on the wind. The sun dips below the mountains, painting the clouds in a rich vermilion. The leaves of Lone Tree glitter in the evening light, and you smell rain on the air. If you've already completed, blah blah, it's all good. We go to entry 1. And yeah, I think if you continue, actually, I kind of really like how like the second campaign's book is bound. It's really nice. Like the first game is really nice as well, but this is especially nice. It just feels a lot more premium. So let me go to entry 1. And like I said, I should probably use the online stuff. That way I can at least like put it on the screen so you can kind of read along. But I'll see. I'll probably get that and in another stream. To start the campaign, complete the first 4. Oh, so we'll do the setup first. So immediately, the first thing, I don't think any of the arcology areas have rivers or any sort of water. So I might be wrong, but we won't get there anytime soon. So it's probably a good idea to get rid of it anyway. So we get rid of the canoe. It takes up space. Then we can have other gear. Remove that. Don't think there's anything else I really want to remove at the moment. Let's see. Spirit Trail. Dear friend. Station Pillow. I think we removed 1 copy of it, so I don't think 2 would make sense. Yeah, so the second copy of Meditation Pillow, I'll probably remove that, but I think I removed that. Might remove this copy of Podogo, because like it is unique. So, and I generally mulligan anyway until I get her into my open hand. So I remove the second copy. I think that might be all I kind of want to get rid of at the moment. So we've got 2 cards we can play with. Or 2 slots. I can't equip the Dendritic Vine because I've got 2 focus. I've already got 1 focus. I might equip 1 copy of Quizzy's favorite snacks. Because you can exhaust it and use 1 bite. It comes with 2 charges or 2 bites. Choose a ranger. That ranger sees fatigue equal to the number of spirit in their energy pool, and I've got 3, so that'll come pretty in handy. So I'll put that in. Artel's fish vaulting rod, so I can basically exhaust an obstacle. Seems pretty nice, but it is a gear with 3 slots, so might not be great. Reclaim a Mucus, attached to a path card, and it reduces that card's presence by 2, which isn't that useful when I've got the Guardian, which reduces it to 0. I did actually look up online, there's an optional sort of difficulty modifier, where basically they have a bunch of cards that kind of rebalance stuff, both positively and negatively. So for the Guardian, instead of like reducing it down to 0, it reduces it down by 2, just to make it just so you aren't like immediately one-shotting things with like quiet or something like that. Or like, yeah, and so using quiet kind of has like a cost. I think I'm just going to copy 2. I'm going to put maybe an extra love heart symbol, but I don't think I have anything in this collection. Yeah, I'll put in a copy of Quizzies because I don't really have that much chaos icons anyway, so that'll be good for that. So I think that's all 30 done. Put that back. Check. Good. So we get that nice shuffle. It's out the way. Okay. So, set up. Let's go back to the campaign guide. Start the campaign, perform the first 4 steps of setup on page 10 of the rulebook, and then return here for the remainder of setup. Okay, and that. So you wake with the dawn. The unmistakable aroma of high pim pots pancakes rouses you from your slumber. Birdsong drifts through the open window, and you raise your head to see the first rays of sunlight peek over Mount Nim. As a ranger, you've grown accustomed to sleeping under the stars, but every once in a while it's nice to sleep in a comfortable bed, sheltered by the elements. Put the Lone Tree Station location into play in the surroundings. So, kind of nice that they put the locations for the expansions in different things. So we're still in the valley at the moment. So I need a Lone Tree Station, which you would think I would have had. It was like the last location I was at. There we go. But we also use a special version of the map, which in the box for the actual expansion itself, which is it's very pretty. So yeah, when you're in the expansion, you don't use the main map anymore. Use this map, which only has for the valley, only has like the northwestern area, because like the whole idea is we're supposed to go underground. You don't really need to do anything else, but they do have entries in this new campaign guide for the old content if you actually come across it, which is nice. So there's going to be a lot of reading for this early part. As you lie snug and warm, you recall a portion of the dream you had last night. You are in a dark cave, your surroundings barely illuminated. You remember the stillness of the air and the sound of a trickling stream. There was a being there with you, cloaked in shadow. As the light crawled slowly over its form, revealing it bit by bit, it turned its head towards you. A head like a many-petaled flower, grinning in a fashion that filled you with deep unease. Your memory of the dream fades as you climb out of bed, and remember that you have an early meeting with Elder Thrush. You dress quickly and head straight to the kitchen for breakfast. You know from past experience, if you don't hurry, the pancakes will be all eaten and you have to settle for slumbery mashing cream. I mean, that sort of sounds pretty nice. You pull on your tunic, step onto the balcony, and notice a darkened sky to the south. After several weeks of nearly perfect weather, heavily laden clouds have swept up from the Verdassa. It begins to rain. Put the downpour weather into play. So there is also like special weather for the archaeology as well, but for this beginning part we still use the original weather, which would be downpour. There we go. Is there, and it comes with 4 rain tokens on it. So, so 3 and 4. Okay. You weave your way through the covered stairways of Lone Tree Station, and as you reach Elder Thrush's ready room, your ears are filled with the rolling thump of raindrops and pelting through the roof. Elder Thrush stands at the far end of a circular table that dominates the center of the room. Carved from the trunk of a giga redwood slain by lightning, the table bears faint scorch marks beneath a generous coat of lacquer. In the center of the table sits a marvelous piece of technology, a multi-hued map of kinetic glass, large enough to depict the entire valley. With a gesture from Elder Thrush, the surface of the valley lifts, revealing partially mapped passageways in the ground below. Spirit Speaker now and Ben Armin are there as well, speaking quietly to each other. As you enter, they sit at attention. Elder Thrush studies the shimmering map for a moment, then gestures for you to take a seat across from her. Good morning, she says in a friendly, no-nonsense tone. I trust you slept well last night. I know that you were looking forward to some extended free time after your long patrol, but the people of the valley are in need once again. You sit up a little straighter. Do you know Solara Mako? You tell Elder Thrush that you're familiar with the valley's foremost archaeologists and enthusiasts of Estian lore. So they're kind of like the people who lived thousands of years ago, who kind of created the technology that kind of helped us from like the apocalypse that kind of happened. Well, the apocalypse did happen, but they kind of built technology to kind of help out to rebuild civilization. That's my understanding, at least. And like they were like the technology they made was kind of a big part of the last campaign, where the reclaimers that invaded the valley were kind of like created by the Estians to basically recycle old technology, but because the entire valley was at this point is old technology, they were kind of given over to basically just trying to destroy the entire valley. And thankfully they were kind of like ran out towards the end, but they did take out Spire with it, which will be interesting to see if they actually update this in the campaign guide, because yeah, in my playthrough, campaign pretty much fell and is no more. You may have not felt it since you were patrolling the northern pass, but while you were gone, there was a tremor near Spire. It was barely perceptible here at the station, and it did not last more than a few moments, but there are many who believe it was an event of great importance. Sloramako is one of them. He believes that something has shifted within the archaeology ruin, and he's eager to investigate. A few days ago, he approached the Council of Elders with a proposal. He wants to lead an expedition into the depths of the archaeology to discover the source of the tremor. Elder, says Ben Armin, raising a finger, if I may, Solara's theory is well founded in historical fact. Long ago, when the valley was first settled by our ancestors, there was a tremor not unlike this one. Our ancestors already knew of the archaeology ruin beneath Spire, but after the tremor, Sal Orlin, Elder Orlin's father, discovered that a passage had opened near the surface. Ben Armin gestures towards the map, and the kinetic shards reform to show a detailed view of the archaeology threshold. A passage within leads us to a spiral staircase set inside of a deep chimney, a narrow vertical chasm plunging far below the surface. He went in not knowing what awaited him, and he returned with a carbon forge, the most valuable piece of technology we have today. I have no doubt that Solara hopes to find another doorway has opened somewhere in the ruin, and that beyond lies an equally important discovery. Spirit Speaker now nods in agreement. There may be another element to this as well. Shortly after Reclaimers came and went, I felt the archaeology stir. It's agitated. It has the energy of a scoff-hustled anthill, like it's been startled awake after a centuries-long slumber. I've never been so aware of the life forms underground, or of the archaeology itself. This tremor is no coincidence. There is still much we do not understand about the Estian, says Ben Armin. Perhaps the presence of the Reclaimers caused an ancient failsafe to be triggered deep within the ruin, for there are many such cautionary tales concerning the relics of the ancestors and the dangers they pose to the unwary. It would be wise to temper our curiosity with caution. Agreed, says Elder Thrush. It's been 5 years since the last expedition. Perhaps Calypso spoke of it during your training. It was to be a simple excursion to Orlin's vault, but tragedy must have befallen them, for none from the expedition was seen again. She shakes her head. I recommended against this new expedition at the council, but I found myself in the minority. I did agree, however, that it would be wise to send rangers. This is where you come in. You are to aid Solaro and the rest of the expedition in whatever way you can. And of course, you are to see to it that everybody returns alive and unharmed. She gestures, and with the crystalline tinkling with thousands of shards of glass, the glittering map of the valley reforms, taking the shape of Spire. The easiest method by which you may descend to archaeology is by way of the archaeology threshold in the village of Spire. However, she gestures again, and the map of the valley returns, with certain areas marked by spinning gold flecks. There are numerous sinkholes and other entrances to the archaeology scattered throughout the valley as well. The route you take is up to you. So, we gain the descent mission. Yeah, I think that's like the most story in this game I've come across. So I need to grab the mission from the expansion. Because I did try to organize, but I don't think there's any room to hold both. There's tons of room to hold extra cards in the core set, but not enough to, like, if they're sleeved, which is partly annoying. But I think there might be enough. I think there might be enough room for the upcoming expansions to fit in the core box, just not these narrative ones. So we want a descent. There we go. But yeah, it'd be cool if they did, like, put a yeah, it would be kind of cool if they, like, released a sort of all-in-one box where you can just put everything in. Go there. But yeah, it's always kind of weird. Like, I like when board games have, like, sort of nice organization, or like they have, like, lots of room for extra stuff. Okay. May the spirit of the valley guide and protect you, she says. With that, Elder Thrush calls to an end of the meeting and sends you on the way. Travel to the chimney by way of either the archaeology threshold in Spire or an archaeology sinkhole at a non-people location to meet up with Solara Mako's expedition. Complete setup by completing that. I've already done that. The path opens before you. Where you go from here is entirely up to you. Okay. me just do that. So I'm still kind of getting used to like everything kind of like bouncing around. So what does it say in? Double check my mic is all good. Yep. Descent. So you must journey into the dark to lend aid to Solara's mission. You could either descend to the chimney from the archaeology threshold in Spire, or find an archaeology sinkhole and descend from there. Once in the chimney, you'll need to talk to and find Solara. Okay. And then when you arrive at the chimney, read this campaign guide entry. Okay, so we'll start it up. So I need to grab the woods deck. So this is the path deck here, and because it's a pillar location we're at, I need to grab parts for Lone Tree Valley. So Spire. Rebirth, Northern Outpost, Lone Tree Station. So there should be 5 cards. 2, 3, 4, and 5. There. And then we just mash them together. Simple. I don't think there's any sort of assembly instructions in here. Nope. So it just says search the path deck and search for the next predator and discard it. Or search the path deck for the next predator and then discard it. A little bit more of a shuffle. Which, I mean, we're only going to be here for a short while anyways. We do kind of want to move. We search the deck for the next predator, which has been. There we go. We get rid of this wolf. And that goes there. And then we follow the instructions. The lead ranger draws 1 path card, and because it's just me by myself, it's I'm the lead ranger. So I draw a spirit speaker now. She goes within reach of me, and I need to grab campaign guide number 45. Yeah, like I said, they've got like all the areas that are kind of covered by the expansion basically do have like their own entry here. So thankfully you aren't like jumping back and forth. 45. If you're a loss, which we haven't, otherwise go to 45.2. You find Spirit Speaker now sitting in quiet contemplation within a small gazebo in one of the Lone Tree's many gardens, her legs crossed and her eyes closed. She doesn't stare as you approach, but when you call out to her in greeting, her eyes flutter open. "Oh, hello," she says, with a wan smile. Give me just a moment." She cocks her head to the side, as if she's listening to someone. Clear now with progress, to ask her more about her presence she sends in the archaeology. And yeah, obviously, like, the new campaign guide has new content for the older characters as well. So, we begin the round. I draw a path card. Oh, there's one other deck I need to grab as well. The challenge deck. So it basically just modifies any results of tests, as you'll probably see in a moment. It's upside down. So, to begin the round, we draw a path card. It's a 6 buck. It goes within range because it within reach of me, because it has a little arrow symbol. Or it has a little down arrow symbol. It has an up, and it goes in within reach, which is for everybody. Okay. So, I also need to put this token on here. So the location also has an ability, a test on it. Awareness plus heart search with a challenge rating of 1. Beneath the comforting shade of your Giga Redwood home, scout path cards equal to your effort and draw 1 card. So, like I said, we're not staying here for too long. We'll probably talk to now, but we do kind of want to start moving on to Spire to get underground. So, to begin with, we'll do a. We've got to obviously draw our opening hand. I keep forgetting that. So draw 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see what we got. So yeah, I'm going to keep Compassionate because like that's always a nice card to have. Silver Sketchbook. That's good for like getting rid of obstacles. Resourceful is a nice way of getting additional attributes out of the stack for test. Quiet, I'll keep that because, like I was saying before in earlier sessions, there's very few ways of doing damage directly, and this is one of the few cards that can kind of do that. And it kind of works really well with my Guardian ability as well, because I can basically, because like the way she usually works is that when you exhaust her, she does 3 damage or 3 harm to a being, and then she does harm to herself equal to that being's presence. So I can basically use her Guardian ability to reduce the being's presence down to 0, and she doesn't take any damage. So it's a nice little combo. Influential, I might not use that just yet. And a dear friend, I'm not really searching for any humans at the moment. I might do that because we do have to search for Solaro, so I'll probably keep that. Yeah, if we do get to Spire, we do have to go underground and party as well. That's probably a good idea. So I'm going to mulligan this one. And then draw from the top. Intention Translator, it's kind of nice. It's a nice way of adding additional effort to connect test. Awesome, so we're now ready to play. So, do some initial kind of like setup. I'm going to spend 1 focus energy to play Intention Translator, or equip it. That comes with 3 charges on it. If I can actually work with my little tokens. There we go. And then, what else do I have? I also equipped Silver Sketchbook as well, just in case something comes out that we want to like exhaust, or we can start sketching to add more tokens to. So I actually just realized I probably dropped my awareness tokens. Oops. There. So I'm going to spend 1 energy to equip Silver Sketchbook. It comes with 2 charges on it. So 1, 2, and it does mean as well. I've only got 1 more point of gear left to be equipped. They only have a maximum of 5, and these both take up 2. Yeah, I think that's all good for now. So we're going to connect with Spirit Speakers now. I'm going to commit 3 Spirit Energy because like there is a this common test. Which one? Go there for now. So yeah, basically on my turn, there's like 3 things I can essentially do. Play a card, which I did for these. To play these gear. I can do 1 of 4 common tests, depending on what's around me. So I can either traverse a feature, which is not in play at the moment. I can either connect with a being, which Spirit Speaker now and the Bucker. I can either do a remember test to try and draw cards, or draw one card really. And then I can also do an awareness test to try and exhaust a being. But yeah, I'm going to do a connect test on Spirit Speaker now. So that's free initial effort. I can commit cards that have the heart symbol on the side to kind of add more effort, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to exhaust the Intent Translator to give myself an additional effort, so it's now 4. So assuming I don't get a -2 out of the challenge deck, it should pass, because you can only fail by 2. So we draw from the challenge deck to modify our effort. So it's 0 awareness, 0 spirit, so that passes. So that'll put 3 progress or 4 progress onto it, but that clears her anyway, so we won't bother with that. And when you clear with progress, you go to entry number 45. Okay. She also can clear with harm, but something bad happens when human NPCs are cleared with harm. You generally don't want that to happen. So 45.5. Do you remember how I spoke of this presence I felt during our meeting with Elder Prush? The stirring unease of some undefinable presence within our ecology? I've been attempting to reach it to no avail. I think, however, I may have a solution. Greenbrier Knoll. It is a place of great power where we go to there, I would be able to harness the power and, with the help of the spirits, use it to penetrate whatever barrier stands between me and the elusive presence. If you have the time to accompany me to Greenbrier Knoll, I would certainly appreciate the company. Yeah, let's do this. Like, the campaign entry here, but I think the first 3 days, you generally have, yeah, we've got basically 3 days to get to Spire, so we've got a bit of time on our hands. Not to get Spire, but get to Underground. So yeah, you can count on me. Discard all progress and attach the Helping Hand mission to Spirit Speaker now. Accompany now to Greenbrier Knoll. We can grab the Helping Hand mission. I can actually find it. So, Helping Hand. There's 2 copies of it in there. So that gets attached to her. You have agreed to help this person complete an important task. Do not add this mission to the campaign tracker. If you do not help this person before the end of the day, the opportunity is lost for now. The attachment gains persistent, which means they stay with us when we move. Because usually when you move, they go away. So we basically need to go to Greenbrier Knoll. We're at Lone Tree Station now. I should find it on the map. There you go, so it's just a little bit below Spire. Okay. But let's focus on now. Let's focus on actually moving this location. So this all goes away. And then we resolve anything with the crest symbol. So if there's an active predator, which there is not, if there's an active doe, which there's not. So that's all good. If I was playing with somebody else, you can only do one action at a time before you pass it on to them. But because I'm playing by myself, I basically just keep on going until I run out of stuff to do. So we're going to do a traversal test. Oh, actually, the problem is if we try... Yeah, I'm going to take the fatigue. So I'm going to commit. So I'm going to do a traversal test, and because it's there's a non-friendly being in the way, I take fatigue equal to any presence, which is basically the little number here, equal to that in fatigue, which is basically just me taking top of my deck and putting it in a new pile. So take 1 fatigue. I could do an evasion test, but it's not really worth it. And like I said, my deck is very good at sort of getting cards back, so it's not that big of a deal. So I take 1 fatigue, and then I commit energy. So I'm going to commit to fitness energy as the base. I can commit anything with the compass symbol on it. So I'm going to commit resourceful, which has the compass symbol here. And this is a special card as well. So after you commit this attribute, search your ranger deck for the next attribute you can commit. So can I commit that? No, I can't. It's another resourceful card. So I think I kind of noticed, like, I can commit a resourceful, so I get another. I can search the deck again for another card to take out. So when you search, you need to reshuffle. I didn't realize that until like pretty late in the game. Yeah, I think in my last campaign there was a few bits where I kind of like accidentally cheated, but I guess since it's a solo game, it doesn't really matter too much. There was also like a few kind of things I did house rule where basically like when you do a traverse test, if you fail, you take 1 injury. But because I'm playing just by myself, I think that's a bit too harsh, so I decided to kind of ignore that. Because yeah, you can only take 3 injuries before the game, before a session is over. Okay. So we search again. And the attribute I can commit, which might not be anything, I don't think. Oh, there we go, bold. Okay. Shuffle. So I think I may have overdone this, but the good news is that this goes on my both of those cards I drew go on the top of my fatigue set because the effects are resourceful. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 effort. That's definitely going to pass. We can end up moving. So for this resourceful, I put this card into my fatigue stack. And from this resourceful, I put this other resourceful into the fatigue stack. Because it says, if the test is successful, place that attribute on top of your fatigue stack. And this goes into my discard, so I need to make some extra room. Yeah, your discard is generally a lot harder to get back into play than your fatigue set because there are ways to specifically soothe your fatigue, but there's only a few ways to sort of get cards back from the discard. Okay. So I put 6 progress onto that. Like I said, that was a bit overkill. Oh, actually 7 actually. I haven't drawn the challenge deck yet, so that's a base effort of 6. We draw from that. That's a +1, so 7. We add 7 progress onto the location. There are sometimes where you do want like excess progress on a location because there are different ways to kind of spend it once you clear it, but not in this case. 7. And then we resolve anything with the mountain symbol. So there's only 1 card with the mountain symbol here. So if there's an active predator, which there is not. I've got nothing else I can really do this turn. So I'm going to rest. If there was anything... Yeah, so Because we're playing, yeah, so the order of operations is if there's enough progress here to move, which there is, because we only need 3 per player, so we've got 7, that's more than enough. We can decide to move, which I'm going to do so. So we do the moving first before we do anything else. So let's look at the map again to see where we need to get to. So we need to go to Greenbrier Knoll. Okay. So I guess the easiest way would be to go to Boulder Hill, Kobo's Market, then Spire, and then the Knoll. Yeah, I think that might be the easiest way. So, we've decided our moving. Oh, thank you for the subscription, Verega. Thank you. So yeah, basically, it's the same train sets, so I'm going to turn off the map. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it took a couple of months, but yeah, it's kind of good. It's good to get it done. Though, like I was saying earlier, that it's the hard part is now to grow to actually make it worth it. But yeah. How's your day going? Okay, so I'm going to go to Boulderfield. So we pack up everything here. Good, just oh wow, that's nice. Congratulations. Always a big step. Forget if you're in America, right? Yeah, here in Australia, it's slightly harder. It's pretty hard to buy a house at the moment. Though at the same time, I see everybody else kind of like buying one. Because like the rental situation is pretty shitty. Yeah, like 20 minutes. Oh, nice. And from what I've heard about Seattle, it seems like a nice city. Okay, so we put everything back in the. It's the same terrain deck, so I think all we need to do is get rid of the characters or get rid of any cards that were made from this location. So, I think it was 5 or 4, so I think there's 1 more to go. There we go. So these go back into the pivotal location. And then we grab, because we double check the map. Yeah, it's a non-pivotal location, so we grab the cards from the Valley set. So, it's kind of interesting now. I think we've only got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards left back because we have to get rid of 4 of them when we start the campaign. So there should be a good chance we go to the sinkhole. We find a sinkhole, but we're going to Greenbrier Knoll at the moment to help out with Spirit Speaker now. Sort of see what she kind of felt. So shuffle in 3, 2, 3. And then I need to grab the location. When you move into your new place? Because I know there's like a bit of a delay between like when you settle and when you can actually move. So I need Boulderfield location. Yep. And that goes back there. What's hot today? So it's like 28 degrees, jeez. So It's all good. We've got the location. There's no, I don't think there's any sort of special stuff, but there is a campaign guide, and this will be new for us, at least, because we're using the newer campaign guide. 14. Well, hopefully it's brand new. Like, the stuff I've seen, like, in the few moments we've started playing seems to be brand new. Boulderfield. Long ago, a great mountain once stood here, but as the millenniums passed, it steadily split and crumbled. At the edges of the boulder field, the ground is littered with rocks the size of apples. As you head deeper in, however, the boulders grow larger until you find yourself weaving between what you imagine to be the bones of the lost mountain, pillars of rock that reach towards the sky. The lead ranger draws one challenge card and does the following based on the icon. It's a crest symbol, so scout 3 path cards and then draw 2. So 1, 2, 3. I might put all of them right at the bottom because, like, it's an obstacle, a caustic mulcher, which is not great, and a bug. Right at the bottom, and then I draw 2 cards. 1, 2. So overgrown thicket is an obstacle that goes along the way. Yeah, definitely something I'm going to do, like, at some point is, like, rearrange my play space so I can actually have more space to film. And then go at the bottom. Okay. And a Sunbury Bramble. Okay. So we need to get rid of that first before we can jump onto the location. But we need to start the round first. We draw from the path deck. It's the Fundamentalist, 86 goes within reach. Reduce the presence of all other beings in the same area by 1. So here we have new text for us, 86. Go into play 86.1. You hear a quiet, tuneless humming from around a switchback on the trail. You step back from the main path, and as soon as you see the distinctive figure of Tycho Hum, the so-called fundamentalist of the valley. He pauses often to study plants growing along the trail, and occasionally he flicks his hand across a flower, gathers a dusting of pollen, then reaches back to rub on the flowers peeking from his pack. When Tycho straightens up, stretching and cracking his back, he catches sight of you. He tips his broad-brimmed hat in greeting. Clear the fundamentalist progress to ask him how he's been. Yeah, our main goal at the moment is, I guess this is going to give us fatigue if we jump over it. So, but first we do our refresh, because after you move, you refresh. So I refresh my energy. Go. And then draw a card. So it's a meditation pillow. It's good for later on. And that's it, I think. Oh yeah, so I accidentally started the round before I did refresh. So that's a card for the round. Okay. So, just thinking. Alright, we need to unexhaust anything that's exhausted. So, I know it's always kind of funny. Like I always keep getting triggers, even though I've like been playing this for a few weeks now. Okay, so. Oh, I can exhaust this actually. Yeah, so I've got the sketchbook, so I can exhaust it and then. Yeah, I can exhaust the sketchbook to exhaust the overgrown thicket, so that's not an issue anymore. So it's really just taking the fatigue from the Sunbury Bramble. That's what I worry about. So, but let's clear the Fundamentalist and have a chat with him. I'm going to commit 3 Spirit Energy. And also exhaust the Intense Translate and take 1 off. Do 4. I won't commit any cards. We'll draw from the challenge deck. That's -1, so total of 3, but it's still going to clear it. 6. When you clear a progress, go 86.2. Tiger strokes his chin and hums to himself. Yes, the Reclaimers, a good example of why meddling with nature is a bad idea, isn't it? This expedition down into the old ecology is just another example. Tycho paces back and forth, warming up to his topic. As long as we insist on clinging to the relics of ancestors, we're never going to be able to live harmoniously with our surroundings. Those relics are always going to conjure forces like the Reclaimers, tempting us to invent new technological solutions to solve the problem. He shrugs. Maybe next time something like the Reclaimers shows up, we'll embrace the opportunity to break away from that cycle. This expedition into archaeology is just a fool's errand. The Estians were wiped out for a reason. I can't think of any good that's going to come from disturbing their bones. Tycho stops, breathing deeply. Then he looks at you as he gets himself under control. If you plan on going down there, I sincerely hope you'll be careful, lest you tempt a similar fate for us. Trust in nature, trust your instincts, be well. Discard the Fundamentalist. And each ranger sees 2 fatigue. So when I use fatigue, it goes into my hand. 1, 2. If you befriended the Vedacian, which we haven't. Okay. So that's one thing dealt with. And we got a dear friend and compassionate from that. Okay. So, and then we resolve anything with the crest symbol. There's no predators around, so that's fine. And then so yeah, I'm going to exhaust Silver Sketchbook and use 1 sketch to exhaust the overgrown thicket. And then I'll take 1 fatigue to traverse the location. So I'll commit 2 traversal energy. It needs a total of 4. So I've got bold, so I'm going to commit that. So that's a total of 4 effort. We modify that with the challenge deck. It's -1, so 3. So unfortunately we can't move this turn. Yeah, 3. And then we resolve anything with mountain symbol. So the only thing active at the moment, if there's active prey, sure isn't anymore. And it goes there. So I'm going to sketch the Sunbury Bramble with the sketchbook. So you need the amount of presence that you're sketching to do that. So I'm just going to commit 1 effort. Different outcomes. No. Okay. I've got resourceful, but I don't think I have any other cards in this, so might not be handy. So let's just go with that, because you only just need 1 to pass. So draw from there. So 0, so that passes, so I can put 1 sketch back. And then solve anything with the sun. Discard 1 rain from this token. It's 4. And then take 1 fatigue. There's nothing else I want to do, so I'm going to rest. Sorry, refill my energy. There's nothing in play at the moment that requires refresh or that has an effect on refresh. I unexhaust everything and draw a card. So quiet. Okay, another copy. Okay. So we draw another path card. So just a buck. It goes within reach. Yeah, I don't think we're going to go down. Yeah, I don't think we're going to go down into Archaeology today, or even like next session. But I do kind of like, because we do have a mission that requires us to go pretty far into the valley. So I'm not too fussed about like running out of fatigue at the moment. So, and yeah, the next sort of checkpoint isn't really until day 4, sort of like the base campaign. So there's plenty of time. So I'm going to exhaust the sketchbook. Take one sketch off. Exhaust the Earthborne thicket. Yeah, I'll do a traversal test onto location. It's only got present 1, but I'm going to put 2. Draw from the challenge deck. I'm not going to commit any cards. So +1, so total 3, so that's there. Then we resolve anything with a crest symbol. So if there's an active doe, which there isn't, and there's no active predators around, so it's fine. But because it's got this little symbol here, we shuffle the deck. Or we shuffle all the cards back into the challenge deck. So it's also like all the -2s. Okay, so we can technically rest now and move if we want. But I'm just going to do another little sketch. So, like I said, we're not in any danger at the moment because like there's no way we can really take injury. So I'm going to sketch Spirit Speaker now with sketchbook. So I'm going to commit 2. Draw from the challenge deck. That's -1, so unfortunately it fails. And it was already with the crest symbol, but nothing procs. Okay. I think I'm fine for now, so I'm going to rest. We're going to move. So we're at Boulderfield now. We want to go to Herbo's Market. It'll be interesting to see if they keep the flood damage that was there from the last campaign, because that was like literally the only spot I didn't save from the flood. So I need to grab all the woods cards and then grab the, I think what's called Old Grove. And also the valley cards. That's my hand. Oh. Woods, the valley, woods, and the valley. And the valley. So we need to reshuffle the valley deck because it's another non-pivot location. And I was half tempted as well to like put in the lure mission we're doing the previous campaign, but I decided just to not worry about that. shuffle. More free cards. We've got the grassland set. Place up the wood set. So I'm actually, I think I'm getting pretty good at sort of this flow of putting cards back. And hopefully next session as well, we'll be able to like be having like a whole new set of cards and sort of look at. Be nice. So get that nice shuffle. Oh, I just forgot to return this as well. And I also need to grab the location. Okay. So we want Kobo's Market. In. We'll do the setup. So it's campaign entry number 16. Find it. There we go. If you've not completed the Kobo Swap Meet mission, which we haven't, it is 1.03. Here we go. 1.103. Yep. So the sun peeks through the clouds as you walk down the path towards Kobo's Market, bathing the green in a soft golden light. The wide terrace of the marketplace is bustling with activity, and you see folk from every corner of the valley clattering or chattering excitingly with one another. It appears as though Ren Kobo's semi-annual swap meet is well underway. Amid the din, you can pick out elevated moments of some ferociously good-natured haggling. If you have completed the Valley's secret mission, but you haven't, always continue reading. As you make your way to the terrace, you're greeted by a throng of friendly faces. Some want to give you a small token by way of thanking you for your service to the Valley. Others are simply excited to see a ranger has come to the swap meet. You might just have something particularly interesting to trade. Complete the limited time offer mission and gain the Kobo swap meet mission again. I think that might be in the missions. There we go. I think it's going to be annoying as well, like swapping between two boxes. I assume that once you get to the arcology, you only really deal with like the one box. So I want the swap meet mission. There we go. Because yeah, I think the valley map only has like the top north area of the valley, so you can't really travel anywhere below that. So, what's it say? Each human gains the following test. Spirit plus Chaos to barter with locals to move one card from your hand to your displaced cards and add one card on offer for which you meet the requirements to your hand. Then flip a new card from the swappable deck. Okay, so trying to think what that means. So to move one card from your hand to your displaced cards, then add one card on offer for which you meet the requirements. So I guess, yeah, I'm guessing each human has a campaign guide that says what they have on offer, so that seems fine for now. So leave that there. And then if you travel away, if the day ends, or if you claim or discard the last swappable, read a campaign entry. Okay. So I guess we can stay a little bit, see what some humans have. Or see what some people have. Anyway. I think I've done... Yeah, I swapped all the valley cards. I put all the valley cards in, so it's fine. So, the lead ranger searches the path deck for the next feature and puts it into play. Antelope, harvester anthill, that goes along the way. It's an obstacle, so it blocks us from moving. Okay. I'm kind of curious because I can't really. It's not a pivotal location, so I don't know. Unless like all the yeah, I guess we'll see how it goes. Swappables deck, but it doesn't really say how to make the swappables deck. Record any game. Oh, maybe there's some extra text here. This is how to actually do it. So it was. Yeah, this is like a brand new mechanic to me, so I actually have no idea what's going on. 1.103. Okay, so yeah, there are instructions. Reading the quest explains the quest. Okay, search the valley set for Renkobo and put him into play. When you build the path deck, instead of using 3 random cards from the valley set, do so using 3 other humans from the valley set. Okay. So I need to pull those cards out. I can keep Calypso. So I need to put... Yeah, I'm going to keep Calypso. Remove that. And Renkobo goes into play. So I need to grab 2 humans from the valley set. So, there's only two. There's only 2 more left in there. So there's the Aura and the Fundamentalist. Because yeah, like I was saying before, it kind of tells you to get rid of like the other humans that aren't part of the story at the moment. So, Renkobo goes into play. I guess I'll read his text, but I'll do all this first before I do that. This goes into the path deck. There we go. And let me continue reading. Okay. Yeah, do so using the other 3 humans. Okay. Search the core game reward set for all copies of each of the following cards that you have not previously unlocked. So we've unlocked that, we've unlocked that, unlocked that, unlocked that. We need Harvest Crown. Yeah, that's nice. It gives you like a nice little way of getting some of the reward cards that you haven't got. Okay, so we need to grab Harvest Crown. So connect glass structure is one of them. So Harvest Crown. Linux fur coat, or Link's fur coat. Link's fur coat. Let's see. Skeletonal. Zoological companion. Is that in there? Nope. Umbral Claws one. Kinetic glass sculpture. Links for code. Probability compass. So sketchbook. What we got? Brands locator. And I think that's everything. Yeah, I think that's all the Umbral Claw, yeah. Okay. So I think all these rewards are stuff you get from like talking to NPCs in the base game as well. So I think that's kind of why they're giving it to you, or giving the opportunity to get it to you. Because like there was a little bit that said, "Hey, you've done like the Secrets of the Valley," which is basically sort of helping out everybody. Yeah, I'll check out card. I think that's all good. So yeah, I think it's all the rewards that don't come from missions, or it's like non-NPC missions. Okay. So shuffle them together to make a swappables deck. And place it face down next to the path deck. This deck operates as its own independent deck and has its own discard pile for any swappables that are discarded. Flip the top three cards of this deck face up, and then place them in the play area. These items are currently available in the swap meet. That was a lot. That's a lot of setup for like a little minor event. So, flip. Flip the top cards of face up and place them into play in the play area. So it's 2 copies of Umbral Claw. Maybe I should have shuffled that, but not that old. Go. Okay, and now we'll read Renkobo's. We still got one more. We still haven't set up the actual location yet. Or we still haven't actually gone into play yet. 80. If you complete, otherwise go 83.3. The man's familiar, broad face has been weathered by years of strong wind, and his eyes are surrounded by a forest of wrinkles from a lifetime of squinting into the sun. He pulls his hand out of the pocket of his long coat and thrusts it forward. He speaks of the draw of the Messapian sea folk. Always good to see a ranger, he says. Perhaps you'd like to make a trade? Click Renkobo with progress to trade with him. His smile broadens. Oh, so perhaps I can interest you in attending the swap meet at my market. People are coming from all over the valley to trade items of great significance. I'm sure you'd find it incredibly beneficial, both spiritually and commercially. I'm on my way to the market now. You should join me. The journey is always more pleasurable when shared with a friend, don't you agree? Gain limit time off the mission, which we've done. See, I guess we kind of broke. So yeah, we've already done that, so I guess we just put this here. Okay, so now we begin the round in earnest. We draw from the park deck. The swappables here, you can't see it on screen. Okay. Okay, so yeah, basically I need to swap one card from my hand to my displaced hand, so it means I can get it back at the end of like a session if I've camped. And then I can grab a card from here that I meet. So yeah, I meet the requirements for all three of these cards. Well, two of them are the same, I guess. So yeah, let's continue on and see how we go. So draw from... Oh, we've still got to reset as well. So reset. Okay. So I'm guessing the damage from the flood is now all being fixed as well, so that's good. Refresh, draw a card, influential, unexhaust everything, and we're ready to go. So it's Calypso. So let's see what new stuff she has to say. There's a lot of reading it for this initial part, which is 85. If you close the book, otherwise go to 85. As you come up the trail, you see your mentor and trainer in the ranges, Calypso, cleaning a carbon forged machete in a rushing stream, running down the docks. You recognize the weapon as one Calypso has been using to hunt down the reclaimers alongside you and the rest of the rangers. The last two cycles have seen some dangerous hunts, but the veteran ranger doesn't seem any worse for wear as she sees you on way to low. The Calypso would progress to ask how the reclaimer hunt is going. So I guess there's still some like reclaimers around from like the last campaign. That's the tradables deck. So what I might do first is I do want these pieces of equipment. And like I was saying before, the nice thing is that it does sound like the trade isn't permanent, so I can put it in my displaced back so I can grab it. So there's no downside for me just trying to grab as many of these rewards as I can. So let's do Spirit. Let's do the test on the card. So it does sound like I only need one effort in order to pass. Okay. Because if there's nothing on... Yeah, if there's no number next to the actual card, that means it's just an effort valuable one. So, yeah. Maybe we might spend a bit longer here just to grab as many sort of rewards as we can. So we'll battle with Friend Kobo. I'm going to spend one spirit. Draw from the challenge deck. -1, I guess that fails. So I guess the prize wasn't great enough. But resolve anything with the crest symbol. There's no active predators around, so that's fine. Let's try and to do battle with him again. I'm going to spend another one. Maybe this time he'll say yes. So yes, he will. So I'm going to take the Lynx fur coat. Oh, I need to also discard a card from my hand as well. So I'm going to take out this copy of Quiet because it's a unique card, even though there's a printing error and it says it isn't. So that's going to go into my displaced pile. And then I'll grab the Lynx fur coat into my hand. Then I'll resolve anything with the mountain symbol. Discard one random card on off, and I also need to flip over a new card as well. So probability compass. Use one needle. When a ranger draws a challenge card during a test, choose a modifier from that card. Spend one energy matching that modifier's aspect to use it instead of the test. Oh, that'll come in handy. So discard one random card on offer for each active human. So there's 3 active humans, so I guess all 3 get discarded. So, then flip an equal number of new cards from the swap. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. So, nothing. If there's active Hungry Scruff, which there isn't, add 1 progress to a path card as Calypso lends your hand. So I'll do that to Rain Turbo. And I'll put that away. So Harvest Crown and Connect Sculpture. Exhaust. When a ranger performs a Connect test that interacts with a human, commit 2 effort. Okay. And Connect Sculpture Exhaust and use 1 form to move a being. That's probably not too useful for me because, like I said, I'm playing solo, so where the actual creature is not that great, and there's not that many creatures that sort of focus on. Yeah, there's not that many cards that focus on where it is at the moment. So yeah, our main issue is getting rid of this anthill so we can actually move on. So it's got no harm on it, so it's technically a presence of 0. So I'm going to exhaust. I think we're done now, so that's fine. So getting the Harvest Crown would be pretty nice. So maybe we'll do that first, but we'll exhaust the Harvest Anthill, so that doesn't use any sketches because it's got a presence of 0. I'm going to commit my last Spirit Energy to Calypso. Yeah, well, it doesn't really matter anyway. I guess a Rain Turbo again. Draw from the challenge deck. So I can grab that. I can put 1 card from my hand. I'll do Influential. And I'll grab the Harvest Crown. And then it's another mountain symbol, so I guess I discard these again. These are all the discarded ones, and then put another 3. So 1, 2. The only new one is Translocator. So exhaust and use 1 shift. When you perform a test, dodge each card in play. Okay, might come in handy, but I can't actually use it because it requires free focus, and I've only got 1, so it's fine. I add 1 progressive path card from Calypso, and then let's do a traverse test. So there's nothing that would block me, so I'm going to commit 2. Let's see my hand. Ooh, that's also the Harvest Crown is really nice as well because it's got 3 connect symbols or 3 heart symbols. So I'm going to commit Resourceful as well. So that will. That's a total of 3. Then I search my path deck for an attribute I can commit, which I don't think might be anything. Oh, it's bold, so that's 5. So that will definitely pass, but we'll resolve it anyway with the charge deck. So -1, or 0, it's 0, so that's fine. And because resourceful, I put this bold on top of my fatigue stack. And that goes my discard. And then I'll resolve anything with the sun. So I take 1 token off the liver and take 1 fatigue. Add one progress to a location, as Ren shares his usual routes with you. I think I've got 4 there, so I need to add another 4 to the location. So we've got more enough. We've got enough to move anyway next turn. There we go. Nothing else to. And I think that's all I can really do this turn. So I'm going to rest. We're going to move. First, I'll clean all this up. Back in the rewards deck. Oops, I just realized, did I put my hand? No, I didn't. Okay. I was worried I put my hand in the rewards deck. Yeah. So, we... so take these people out. Renkobo is persistent. So he stays there. Calypso leaves. And then we also read 1.104 because we're leaving the location. You spend hours at the swap meeting, exchanging items and tales of equal measure. Although the new supplies are useful, learning what many of the people of the valley have been up to since the Reclaimer invasion is the most valuable part of the meet. Eventually the sun dips behind the mountains and everyone begins to pack their bags and prepare to leave. You say your farewells and receive many well wishes. Then, as long shadows stretch across the market lawn, you cinch up your cloak, sling your pack over your shoulder, and head out. Complete this mission and return the swappable deck to the collection. Okay. Now, okay. And so we're going to Spire. So I guess we'll see what happened, see how Spire is holding up after the invasion. So I need to grab the Woods cards. Oh, not the Woods cards, sorry. The Lakeshore cards. Check if got everything here. And there's one more Valley card, so it's fine. And then Lakeshore. And the Spire location. Yeah, I'm gonna read the campaign guide entry before we do like any sort of like path setup. I think there might be something special or different in this case. White Sky, Watcher's Rock. These are all the weather cards. Whoops, they must have got mixed in. And where did I put Spire? White Sky, Renegade. Branch, Terraform, Furrow, High Basin, Alluvial Ruins, Mountain Navigator, Fountain Inn, Boulder Fields, so it might be here. Yeah, there's a missing here. And there's Fire. Okay. Let me just do a quick little cleanup. Okay, there we go. So, these can go back in location pile. Yep. Yeah, it's kind of annoying. There's like not enough space to like fill up the entire box, but yeah, not enough space to kind of fill up the entire box, but not enough space to like hold yeah, there's too much free space to fill up the box, to not be able to fill up the box normally, but then with the expansion you can't really fill it up fully as well when it's all sleeved. So yeah, okay. So we read the campaign guide entry for Spire, which is 5. But yeah, like I was saying before, basically in my last playthrough, Spire was basically destroyed, so we'll see how that turns out. Five. So, 1. 5. Okay, here we go. Rising out of an island in the middle of the silver fin, the first thing you spot is the landmark that gives the town its name. A massive grey spire at the centre of the island towers over the cottages, workshops, and trade halls that make up the rest of the town. As impressive as it is, you know that it is but a protrusion of the ancient archaeology that extends deep into the roots of the valley. The entrance to the archaeology lies beyond the archaeology threshold. If Spire has fallen, which it has, continue reading. Now, however, the spire is surrounded by scaffolding, cranes, and a few plumes of smoke from ferro kilns and glass blowers. Hover sleds laden with stone and carbon forged beams hang in the air as artisans and willing citizens work side by side to repair the rooftops and walls. In just 2 months, much of the damage from the Reclaimer attack has already been repaired. Okay, so I guess nothing bad happened in the end. Well, people still have to rebuild, but yeah, there's nothing too bad that happened. So I guess in this case as well, we need to build the deck. So you want to add the Spire set to the path deck, so we need to grab the cards for that. Spire. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's one more 6. And so these go in a separate deck. And flip it around. So the idea is that basically when you start out the round, you basically, what's it called? You start out sort of on the outskirts of town, then when you put your player token onto the card, you're sort of inside the city. But I think we are going to skirt around the outside at the moment because we do need to get to Greenbrier Knoll, which is basically just right down the bottom. Good. I'm just going to give this a nice little shuffle. Oh, and this needs to go away as well. So yeah, I think this first session might be a bit longer than usual, just because like there's a lot of story and sort of like a lot of traveling and setup to do. No, that's part of the spy deck, so it's good. And I just put this back into. Okay. So the lead ranger draws 1 path card. So it's a romping Latrino. So it has ambush, so I take 1 fatigue. It's a being, predator, and prey mammal, so it will affect these guys, which is not great. So that's all set up. Now we refresh. So I refresh my energy. Oh, this stream is also the first stream I'm doing a VOD for as well, so it all turns out great. Okay. So refresh, draw a card. So it's all together now. Which would be great if I had like Bodogo. Now I'm semi-regretting taking out Bodogo because maybe I needed those two cards to like sort of make the consistency a little bit better. But then I exhaust everything. And then I draw a park card. So it's out of Romping Latrino. Retreat now. So I've got a lot of connect cards here. So this only takes one note, it takes up 2 slots, so can't really do that. I don't have that many cards that help me travel. Oh, that's pretty nice as well. Link's Fur Coat. So you're exhausted, and when you suffer 1 or more fatigue from a path card, reduce that amount of fatigue suffered to 0. But for now, like I said, we just want to travel, so I'm just happy to take the fatigue. So, I'm going to take 2 fatigue. So I've got meditation pillow, so that means like I can, and I've got a ton of connect cards, so I can basically just use meditation pillow to get a ton of cards back into my deck. Okay. So yeah, but I've taken 2 fatigue. I'm going to go straight to the location, so I'm going to commit 2 fitness energy for this reversal test. I'm going to commit Link's Fur Coat, and all together now for a total of 4 effort. Withdraw from the path deck, or challenge deck rather. That's 0, so it's a total of 4 effort, so we can move next turn. I've heard the actual, I saw online, like on Board Game Geek, apparently like the actual archaeology part is a lot harder, because like they know that you're using all these kind of like cracked out reward cards. And like, yeah, because like there's quite a few of the reward cards that like break the game in a pretty decent way. So that's 4, and then we resolve anything with a mountain symbol. If there's an active predator other than a romping neutrino, so that doesn't proc, and that doesn't proc either, so it's fine. Let's go with this card. Let's connect with Renkobo just to get rid of him. So I'm going to commit 2 Spirit Energy. So -1, that's still procs, but only gives you 1 progress. And resolving with the sun icon, so I take 1 icon off the weather and take 1 fatigue. I add 1 progress to the location. I think I'm almost out of progress tokens. There we go. If there's another Romping Latrino in play, which there is, if Frolocks along the reeds, move it within reach. So, okay, so they're all both within reach, so it doesn't matter. And I think what I might do is I might sketch Spirit Speaker now as well. So I'm going to commit 2 Awareness Energy, draw from the challenge deck. That passes, so I get 2 sketches on the sketchbook. And then I resolve anything with the mountain symbol. So if it acts predator, that doesn't proc either, so it's fine. And that's all I really want to do. So we'll rest. We'll travel. So we want to go to Greenbrier Knoll location. So this should finish. Yeah, this is where we need to go for the mission with Spirit Speaker now. So, Earthborne branch, Marshall Reaper, Cypress, important. Orders Greenbarrow now. Okay. Go. Read the campaign guide entry. So 24. I'll do that before we do any sort of setup. The head-high grass makes it impossible to spot the knoll until the ground slopes upwards, and you begin to climb a gentle grade. As you finish the ascent, you find yourself on a hilltop. At the summit, you find a dais of time-worn and lichen-crusted stone, with narrow threads of metal woven through it. You can see the dulled and patinaed threads from distinct patterns, the mark of the Estians. If Spirit Speaker now is in play, go to 24.1. Now strides to the centre of the knoll with a surety of purpose. She shakes a carbon forged rattle and calls upon the 7 directions, the spirits of the elementals and the spirit of the valley. She kneels and traces her hand slightly over the chiselled threads in the stone, then places her hand lightly upon it, sits and closes her eyes. You set aside your pack and sit quietly across from her. She speaks, her voice carrying an almost dreamlike quality. Interesting, she says. I can sense the presence from before, but it remains elusive. But there are others, free, spirits of the Estians, bound to their former lives, unable or unwilling to cross over. I see 3 of them, and they are all in need of assistance, though they might resist. The sun moves steadily across the sky and eventually now opens her eyes. There's nothing I can do for them here, unfortunately, she says. I tried, but there's still something standing between us, something that doesn't appreciate me sniffing around the archaeology. I'm unsure of what or who it could be. You hand her her canteen and she smiles and thanks. You know now, says, if you happen across these spirits while you're exploring the archaeology, you may be able to communicate with them. And if you feel up to it, you may even be able to help them come to terms with their deaths so they can finally be at peace. Then maybe they'll be willing to cross over. Gain the Echoes of the Estians reward card. First reward of this expansion. Basically, almost the entirety of these. There's like a few like mission cards and all that kind of stuff, but the majority of what comes in like the expansion are these reward cards. Can't even get it out of the box. It was something of the Estians. Oh, see it. These containing. Okay. Echoes of the Estians. There we go. So attached to a path card, and exhaust it. When a ranger performs a test that interacts with the attached card, commit 2 effort. Okay, that's pretty nice. This test can be performed without committing energy. Oh wow! So it's basically just free. Yeah, usually you have to commit energy in order to do a test. So that's pretty nice. Especially because I've only got 1 focus. So okay. So discard now, return helping hand to the collection. So she goes there, and I'll put this back in here. Record learned of the loss on the campaign track. So, campaign tracker. go. So I think what we're going to do for the rest of the session is we're going to go to Spire. We're going to go try to go down here, go into archaeology, and then we'll end the session there. Because we're already at like 2 hours in. So yeah, we'll do one more. We'll do one more location and see how it goes. Get these lakeshore and wood set. Though we might get lucky and actually find a sinkhole, because like that's the other way you can get into the archaeology. And because it's a non-beautiful location, there's a chance of us doing that. So let's go. Yeah, let me grab the lakeshore cards. Check there's nothing else in there. Yep, all good. Yeah, I did want to do some Final Fantasy 11 after this as well. So he stays with us. Please go back. Go. And I'm just going to grab the woods and reset the valley there. Woods and valley. So hopefully we get the archaeology sinkhole so we can move. One, 2, 3, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. No, so now back. 6, 7. Okay. So yeah, there's a good chance that the sinkhole is going to be. Shuffle, and I just realized some of the cards are upside down, but I don't know what the cards are, so it's fine. Put that there, and then so the lead ranger draws 1 challenge card. It does the following, so it's a mountain. So I draw 1 path card. So I don't get to do any scouting, which is unfortunate. So it's a Prowling Wolfhound. Goes there, and then put that around, refresh. 1, 2, 2, and 1, 2, and then we draw a card. So it's another copy of Seal Sketchbook. It's fine. We can use that at least for the icons. Like, I've got a lot of Connect icons at the moment, so I could technically just put my entire Fatigue back into my deck. But like I said, I do kind of want to sort of end this session pretty soon. So we start unexhaust everything, listening to unexhaust, it's fine. Then we draw a card. So it's a Caustic Mulcher that goes along the way. There. It's a big boy. So beings attached to this bar mill do not raid. And there's like, when your player token is on this bar mill, you cannot travel, and player tokens on this bar mill cannot be moved except for the following test. Okay. And it's got a pretty hefty connect. Okay. But we can kind of wipe it out pretty easily with Quiet if we put it into play. So I'm going to spend 2 fitness energy to play Quiet. I'm going to use my range ability to exhaust. I'm going to exhaust my range ability and then give the Caustic Mulcher a 0 presence. Quiet will attack and do 3 harm. So 3, But yeah, like I said, there's like some balancing rules you can add into the game to basically kind of make it a bit harder. So he would always take at least one injury per attack. Um, but unfortunately, you do have to like sort of it's sort of a all or nothing situation, and I don't really want to deal with like some of those other balancing stuff. Um, so let's get Renkobo out of here as well, because if he stays with these predators, it's not great. So let's commit to Spirit Energy. Then draw the challenge deck. Yeah, it's a good thing we're getting rid of him because we just drew a crest symbol, which is usually not a good sign. That's 0, so that clears him out. He's got some text to read when he gets cleared. So 83. Uh, 83. Excellent. Let's trade. I keep getting good trading with him. I'm not going to bother trading. It's fine. If you don't trade with Renkobo, so 2 fatigue. So 1, 2. What did I get? So I got another copy of Altogether now on the dear friend. Okay. And he clears out. So oh, then we resolve anything with the crest symbol. So let's see how much this is going to hurt. So scout 1 challenge card. If it adds the crest symbol, troubling visions fill your mind. Shall suffer 2 fatigue. So 1 and 2. And then we reshuffle the deck. This up a little bit. For the caustic mulcher, add 1 harm to this being to each attached by to. Sorry, add 1 harm to this being attached. Sorry, add 1 harm to each being attached to this biomelt. Okay, so that didn't proc, so there's no being satisfied. Each ranger with this with their play token on this biomeld suffers 1 injury, so that's fine. If you have 3 or more fatigue, exhaust this being and suffer 1 injury. Oh, so we lose all these nice little cards in our fatigue stack. So 1 injury, and all these go into this card. Okay. So there's not much else I really want to do at the moment. Maybe I'll put some more sketches on. Yeah, I'll put some more sketches on. So I'm going to sketch Quiet. I'm going to commit to Awareness Energy. Draw from the challenge deck. That passes, so I put 2 tokens on 2 sketches into the sketchbook. I take 1 token off the weather and take 1 fatigue. And this flips over to become Gathering Storm. If there's another active beam, which there isn't, if not, move your play token to this feature, to this creature, or to this biomeld. So, play tokens on there, and so I'm going to rest. So I don't exhaust everything. There's a refresh effect on the weather, so add 2 rain to this card. If there's 4, which is not. So 1 and 2. Then refresh all my energy and draw a card. what did I put with my fitness energy? Um, 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 um. Yeah. So, and we draw a card. So influential. Wait, don't draw a card. Oh, no. So influential. So then we draw another path card. Let's hope this is the sinkhole. Nope, it's a buck. Yeah, it's kind of annoying. I don't really have that many ways of like getting cards out of the path deck. So let's exhaust my guardian. Let's get rid of this caustic mulch first because that's going to cause issues. Quiet will attack. So he's going to give. I'm going to give the caustic mulch a presence of 0, and Quiet's going to attack for 3, which clears it. My play token goes back to me. Oh, if there's another predator in play, which I don't know if the caustic mulch was. No, it isn't. Okay. So I'm actually surprised that Quiet isn't a predator as well. Okay. So I don't really want to move. I kind of want to just like try and get the sinkhole. Because yeah, like we have to get if we do it the spire way, then we have to get the spire, then like put my play token on there and like try to find it, and wait at least like several turns if we're unlucky. So yeah, let's see if we can get the sinkhole method done. So let's connect with the Wolfhound. Yeah, we don't have enough fatigue to worry about that, so it's fine. I'm going to commit 3. I'll use my last intention translator fast we get Podoko. So that's a total of 4. Draw from the challenge to see if there's any cards we can commit. So we're going to commit Cell Sketchbook for a total of 6. 0, so that clears out the Wolfhound. There. And then we resolve anything with the sun icon, so nothing here. Oh, so if there's an active buck, which it isn't. And because it's a -2, we shuffle the deck. Okay. So let's close that. We'll do a traverse test on. I'll use a sketchbook sketch to exhaust the buck, so we don't take any more fatigue. I'll do a traverse test on the location. So we're going to commit 2 energy. Don't have any icons. So it's literally all love hearts. I could technically play the meditation pillow and get shit. Oh well, not anymore. So I got that injury. So I'm just going to commit 2 for now. And yeah, we'll have a backup plan in case we need to leave. So we'll draw a challenge card. It's -1. That still passes, but only it's got a presence of 1. But we only add 1 progress. The resolving of the mountain. There's nothing inactive. Do I have any ways of getting path cards? No. So I'm going to rest. I put 2 brain tokens onto the location, onto the weather. One, 2. If there's 4 or more rain tokens on the card, a peal of thunder fills the air and a heavy rain begins. After refresh, move all prey to along the way, and each ranger exhausts their roll and then flip this card. So, we draw a card from the deck. It's Eagle Eye, so that does let us scout the path deck, so that's nice. That's just what we needed. So that's all done. So all prey moves along the way. So there's buck wheel, and then I leave my ranger card exhausted. These get unexhausted. So, hmm. Um, yeah, refresh my energy as well. 1, 2, 3. And then I draw a path card. So it's Eclipser. We've already talked to her. That's fine. Okay. And then, oh, fly gets unexhausted, so does the bug. Okay, so let's try and find this sinkhole. Let's see if this sinkhole actually is in the deck. So I'm going to commit, spend 1 awareness energy to play Eagle Eye, so I can scout 3 cards in the deck, in the path deck. 1, 2, and 3. So none of them are what we want. So let's put them at the bottom, and then we draw 1 card. It's a doe, so maybe it's not in here. And this goes into my discard, but we'll see. Because like I said, I don't really want to stay too long on Earthborne ranches. So if it isn't in there, that's fine. Okay. So, I can't really do the quiet trick, but yeah, I'm going to exhaust quiet. Give him 1 injury, but then give 3 injury to the buck. That knocks it out. I will exhaust the sketchbook, take 1 sketch off to exhaust the doe. I will then do a traverse test on this location. I'll commit 2. So 0. I put 2 progress on here, so we can move technically if we want. So like I said, the chances of us, like, I don't really want to move the spire because, yeah, too much effort at this point. That resolve anything with the crest symbol. So scout 1 challenge card. It doesn't contain the crest symbol, so that's fine. If it's an active predator, which it is not, let's connect with Calypso and maybe do some fatigue. I'm going to commit 3. Drop in the challenge deck. It's another crest symbol, but it is +1, so that clears. Let's read the text. So it was 85. Let's go to 85.6. Oh, so I think this is new. So, yeah, this is new. So the answer is... Okay. Calypso looks thoughtful. Actually, let me double check. So, yeah, 85.6. If reclaim a sticker is in the path, this card go to 81.3. Nope. Helping hand. Yep, 85.6. So, Calypso looks thoughtful. Well, some good news at least. It seems the reclaimers are getting rarer and rarer. Not what I would have expected when I started hunting them, to be honest. Given how quickly they spawned 2 months ago, I was worried this would have been a fool's errand. But now I can go several days without receiving reports of any or uncovering any new tracks. She shrugs. Perhaps this is their life cycle, like a locust swarm, over as quickly as it comes. But in any case, I've been on the trail of one for most of today. I think I'm getting closer, but I could use some help with the tracking. The trail is starting to get fainter. Care to lend me a hand? I don't think we have enough energy to help out today, so just say some other time. Discard Calypso and then each range seems to. Because yeah, it's a helping hand mission. So she gets discarded and we do 2 fatigue. There's only 1. It's a meditation pillow. Okay. Which fat use that's gonna do. So we resolve anything to crest symbol. Scatter challenge card. That's one of the crest symbols, that's fine. Nothing else to proc. But we do shuffle the deck. Okay, there we go. So, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 cards left in now in my deck. So maybe we'll just stay here. So I'm going to refresh. Oh, this actually gets flipped over. Okay. Unexhaust everything. Refresh energy. Yeah, it'd be nice as well because if we do manage to go down sinkhole, we can camp for today, and then I can at least make some changes to my deck. So that's all done, and we draw a card. Please be a sinkhole. Please be a sinkhole. Nope, it's a wolf. If there's another predator in play, which there is not. Okay. Oh, and I get some exhausted, so. And I draw a card as well. So it's favorite gear. Let's just spend all these cards because they're not going to be that useful. So I'm going to connect. Actually, I'm going to do 2. I'm going to play Compassionate for 4. Meditation Pillow 5. And a deer for 6. Draw from the challenge deck. +1, so 7, so that definitely clears it. Let's go to the discard. And then we draw a challenge card. Mountain, that's on the crest, that's fine. Nothing else to proc. But because it's a -2, we do shuffle the challenge deck again. So yeah, I'm kind of in autopilot mode a little bit at the moment, just because I know we're like, so we are searching for something. I mean, I could cheat and maybe look through like the valley set what's left, but I'll be against the spirit. So it goes there, and then. Let's connect with the doe, get rid of that. So I'm going to spend Harvest Crown, draw from the challenge deck. That's 0, so that clears it out as well. Discard. And then, there's 4 tokens on that wither. We take 1 off and take 1 fatigue. So yeah, now we've only got 2 more turns left. Nothing else to proc, so that's fine. And then I mean, there's nothing else I can really do at the moment, so I'm going to rest, reset my energy. So let's hope these last 2 cards are what we need. So draw a card. Spirit Trail. Draw a path card for the next round. It's another bug. Let's just connect with it. So 3, 4, 5. Draw from the challenge deck. +1, that clears it out. So this will be our last turn because that's going to proc and we're going to draw this. That goes there. So we do anything with the sun, so we take 1 token off the weather. Take 1 fatigue. Literally nothing else I can do. So I rest. I try to draw a card. I can't. And that ends the session. So out of curiosity, let's see if there was a sinkhole in the deck. Okay, so there wasn't. So yeah, maybe I should have gone to Spire, but oh well. Like I said, the next sort of checkpoint is in like 3 or 4 days, so that shouldn't be a problem. Or in 3 days. Or 2 now, I guess. So yeah, it was that Twizzy, Aura, Tenebrae. There wasn't any. Okay, so yeah, that was a pretty interesting start off to what's it called, to the campaign. We did a lot more shopping, and then we actually did like fighting, more like exploring. But yeah, that was interesting. I'll be curious to see how it actually gets once we get to the arcology. So I'm going to take a short break, just to get things set up, because I do want to do like maybe a couple hours of Final Fantasy 11, because I did do some progress on that last night, and got rid of some of the boring stuff. So give me a few moments.